Yes. Okay, okay. Yes. It's no. Okay, okay. Time, time. Hello? Okay, okay, we are about to start. Okay. So, okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
All the best team. Follow us on at Kenya on Twitter. Some of the voting will happen there.
Yes.
And I wish you the
Yes.
very best. Thank you.
So this is DAYSTAR and
Okay, so yeah, sorry. Okay, so I'll repeat my name again. My name is Wabwire Wamoi Godfrey. I work for IOM. I'm going to be a moderator for this session. It's going to last for 30 minutes. Now, before we continue, I'm going to do some introductions. So, I'm going to introduce our judges. So we have Dr. Maluki there, Miss Esther, and Dr. Rotich. And then we have our timekeeper, Marai Joseph, who is going to keep time. And on my left-hand side, we have the Technical University team, right? And then we have the DAYSTAR University team. So you are all welcome. So I'll start by talking about the format of this debate. The first speaker will deliver the bulk of the argument. So among us, you've been told that already? Okay, the second speaker will rebuttal and counter the counter argument, and the third speaker will buffer or strengthen the position of the team. So each debater has 3 minutes to deliver their statements, okay? So here are the rules of engagement. 1, be tolerant of the differences of others. Whatever opinion they have, just be tolerant, and what you're going to do is listen without interrupting. Do not underestimate or make fun of how the other people are thinking or presenting their argument. Then avoid raising your voice to interrupt the other speaker. Just improve your argument. Don't be like argumentative. Then avoid discussing or talk about topics unrelated to the debate. So when you get into this session, just try to focus on the agenda of this debate so that you're not digressing and going all over because you don't have time. So criticize with grounds or with better proposals than those criticized. So just have better arguments, okay? And then instead of clapping for the audience, we expect you can snap your finger or you can stamp your feet on the ground. The timekeeper, please keep time, like very, very prompt. He's going to tap. You have something to tap with? Yes. And immediately he taps, please stop. So we are going to start. So in this session, the proposers are DAYSTAR University and the opposers are Technical University. So you're ready? You have a question? Yes, yes. No. Yeah. You have any question? No question. Judges, you're set? Okay, so DAYSTAR University, the floor is yours.
Panel, debaters, and audience. Would you believe if I told you that if you put the total world migrants population into one country, it would be the 5th largest country in the world? The total migrant population in the world is 281 million, which translates to 6.3% of the total global population. Migration benefits all groups of the society. My name is Kaisa John in proposition of the motion. Migration is the movement of people within the borders of a state or across international borders. So what are some of these groups that the motion intends us to discuss on? We have social classes, cultural and ethnic groups, we have age groups, gender and sexual orientation groups, religious groups, and occupational groups. This right to move is protected under Article 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, amongst other conventions, including the OAU Convention, the Cartagena Convention, the Migrant Convention, and the 1951 Refugee Convention. Migration is often viewed by the host countries as a burden, but that notion is misconstrued and fails to recognize the vast benefits that come with migration. We have filling labor gaps within the market. I have a case study in Germany. 49% of the population of Germany is below the age of 60 years, which means that more than half of the population is an aged population, meaning there's a gap in the market, and therefore, once migration happens, there's going to be increased productivity, bringing diverse skills into the market and the labor of that state. So that proves the point that migration benefits all the groups of the society, because once that happens, the occupational groups are going to benefit in Germany. The age groups, due to the aging population and the young migrants moving into the country, are also going to benefit. We're also going to have social classes. Migration benefits all groups of the society, we propose.
Okay. So we have the second speaker. Ready? Yes, the second speaker is to counter argument and rebuttal. Yes? Yes. So it's them now to rebuttal or to counter the argument. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Imagine this. 108 million people have been displaced out of their countries of origin due to conflicts, wars, and persecution. This is according to the Global Trends report by UNHCR 2022. My name is Norbert Odol, and I'm here to discredit the motion that migration benefits all groups of society. On to matters national security. According to a study done by the Center of International Relations on transnational migration and the effect of national security, the institute that did that study identified the link between national security and threats by migrants. Therefore, this link produced an influx of refugees into these countries, host countries or countries of settlement, has provided a link between insecurity through acts of crimes and terrorism. Case in point, in 2016 in Germany during the Christmas period, there was a German Berlin market attack, which the perpetrator was a Tunisian national aged 24 years as an economic migrant. Why not justify the sense of security into migration? 2, remittances. While remittances are the most important thing migrants do to their economies back at their home countries, it develops an over-reliance and a culture of consumerism into the populations left back at home. And this leads to a stagnation of economic production due to the consumer culture. Therefore, in countries such as Somalia, 35%, in Haiti, 22%, in South Sudan, 29%, and in Nepal, 13%. This is just a market share, a percentage of the share of the GDPs. Therefore, where is the economic growth in terms of the remittances? So it is just paradoxical to my members of the proposing team that to declare universal boon into migration. Think of groups such as human trafficking victims. What about the communities of the natives, the native population in the countries of, in the host country of migration? Think about it, and we'll gladly welcome you to your side. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going on nicely. So now, next speakers from this side.
Leave no one behind. That is the SDG's motto. If migration did not benefit all groups of society, then we would not even be here today. My name is Bridget Amesa, representing DAYSTAR University. And I'm going to show you that indeed migration benefits all groups of society, and the opposing team failed to actually understand the gist of the motion. Because as a whole, we are talking about the groups of the society. Team opposers talked about migration posing national security threats. We believe that migration enhances security. Let's have a case study of Kenya, for example. When we had the 2013 terror attacks, and the government decided to come up with the Nyumba Kumi initiatives. This initiative is to bring the wholesome aspect of society where people are able to know, I know my neighbor is not a terrorist, I know my neighbor is not a criminal. So that actually proves that migration helps boost security in the country of the hosting country, and not as opposition had tried to, to destroy our thinking. We also have, he talked about remittances. Did you know that 3.6% of Kenya's GDP 2022 was boosted by international remittances? That doesn't mean that we are over-relying on the remittances. It simply means that migrants can have the opportunity to get the international remittances back home, which they can use as a low-risk capital investment to start businesses, to have startups. Do you not want to be economically empowered through remittances? So for the opposers, we believe that you clearly do not have a case. We would like to say that migration helps the government of the origin country to relieve the unemployment pressure. In Kenya, we are currently facing something called the youth bulge, where we have more than 20% of our population being made up of the youth. And we are currently facing a 67% unemployment rate, according to the National Council on Development and Population, which means that when Kenyans actually migrate and when youths from other countries and other groups are migrating, it actually helps the government of the origin country. Migrants pay taxes in the host country. You talked about consumerism. Migrants consume goods in their country, in their hosting country. Therefore, the host country and the origin country also benefit. Let's have a case study of Eastleigh area of Nairobi. Al Jazeera News did a report, and do you know what they found out? That Eastleigh's businesses contribute to 30% of revenue. So therefore, we believe that migration indeed benefits all groups of society and do not be convinced otherwise. We rest our case.
Okay, so next speaker.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sedeshaz Noela Muzranenje, and I want to assert the position of our team on the motion that migration is not good for all society. Firstly, let us first get the facts right. Migration in itself, only 3%. The first speaker spoke about 6.8% as migration as a total contribution to the world's population, but it's at 3%, and there has been a steady but slow rise in the rate. Secondly, migration is the movement of people not only across borders, it also happens internally. There's rural to urban migration, there's urban to urban migration. There are very different forms of migration. Let's continue. There are groups of societies. Let's talk about the 2013 terror attacks that has just been mentioned. We have the problem of the porous borders. We have the problem of the proliferation of weapons and arms that are smuggled illegally in the country due to migration. That is involuntary migration, and the policies surrounding migration that are not able to tackle the question of the porous borders question. We spoke about the GDP. You spoke about the GDP and how the remittances are able to contribute. But again, let's think about this. If an immigrant is working, let's say in Kenya, don't they contribute to the GDP of Kenya? Don't they contribute to the GDP of Kenya? So if a migrant is in another country, the GDP that, as you're talking about the gross domestic product, we should also remember the gross national income. What the remittance is bringing to the country is the gross national income. It's contributing to the GNI and not the GDP of the country. And this is what is actually making the third world countries continuously be labeled as a third world, because most of our workforce is abroad. And what they're doing is they're increasing the GDP and making us continuously be labeled, or rather termed, as the least developing countries. In the matters of the labor force, we see that in Nigeria itself, they have been listed by the World Health Organization as a country that people should not accept the nurses from Nigeria. This is because they're understaffed. We have the problem of tackling the health concerns in a country. So if nurses are migrating, for example, in 2017, 70,000 nurses migrated to the UK. So that means by the time we're tackling COVID-19, the health workers are not available, the health workers are not present. Therefore, we have to ensure, as we're talking about migration, let us ensure that the factors that are contributing to people migrating are first tackled. Let us have the systemic address to the issues before we see migration as a way, or rather as a means to solving the problems, or rather problems of unemployment or problems of settlement. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So we come now to the next speaker from DAYSTAR University.
I have been a voice with no body, a body but barely human, and now memories turn reality, and a reality that the world should concur with me when I say migration benefits all groups of the society. If you're looking for an enigmatic, a migrant from Rwanda, and a beautiful and confident lady, my name is Kalin Banis Nyonziza, here to propose the motion that states migration benefits all groups of the society. First, I would like to speak to my group, to my colleagues. I would like statistics on the GNI. Give me a comparative statistics that shows the GNI and the GDP. Another statistics that I would like is you prove that weapon proliferation is done by migrants. I would also like statistics that shows that human trafficking is mainly done by migrants. Additionally, the first proposer has talked about terrorism. I am going to give you 3 case studies that talks about how terrorism does not give evidence that immigrants are the ones propagating terrorism. In a comparative case analysis done by the Cambridge University for a sample of 145 countries between 1970 to 2000, found an increase in migrants leads to fewer terrorist attacks. In another examination done by Gaspner, in the migration of 183 countries of origin to 200 OECD countries, that is the Organization for Economic Cooperative Development countries, found the opposite. They found that migration does lead to terrorism. But in another analysis done by Forrester, they used bilateral migration data for 170 countries between 1995 to 2015 and found no evidence that migration leads to more terrorism. In 3 of comparative case analyses, 2 have proven that terrorism does not lead to migration. To my dear opposition, when you look at me, do I look like a threat? Academically so, but do I look like a security threat? No, I do not. So here, my group here has given case studies and have talked about relieving unemployment, filling in labor gaps, remittances, promoting cross-cultural exchange, increasing productivity, bringing diverse skills, fostering innovation. Those are the few advancements that migration brings. Additionally, the second opposer, talked about all society. We are here to talk about all groups of the society, respectfully. Additionally, you have talked about human trafficking. I need statistics to show that migrants are the ones propagating human trafficking. I am a migrant. We are the ones suffering from human trafficking. We are the ones who are taken from our countries of origin and taken to different destination countries. We are the ones suffering. Thank you.
Okay. You ready?
Someone once told me a story. It was about taking me to a hideout. Do you know where she took me? She closed me inside a closet. Wangeshi Kingori from the Technical University of Kenya. Indeed, it is an indisputable fact that migration does not favor all groups of society, as evidenced by points presented by my fellow opposers. And to reiterate on our position that on this narrative, there is a growing aspect of concerns on human security, according to a study done by the Human Security Watch 2023. Case on point, nearly 90% of 3.1 migrants in Dubai, 3.1 residents of migrants in Dubai work in construction firms and as in service jobs. They have been faced by numerous abuses and exploitation. And according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, there is the right to work, that is on Article 3, and the right and freedom from slavery and servitude, according to Article 4. These conditions of working for more than 12 hours under heat, you know, Dubai is usually heated during the day, and also the kafala system, which restricts the job mobility and gives the employers a chance to confiscate the passports of the employees to restrict them from movement. All of this infringe on the human rights, and in the growing global order in the international system, we should be champions of human rights, and we cannot turn a blind eye on the violation of human rights. Therefore, this is a clarion call to all stakeholders, not only to draft, but to also implement measures that will make migration favor all groups of society. Merci.
Thank you very much, our wonderful audience and our very, very, very wonderful and highly resourceful debaters. You all have very, very strong and valid points. So we now give our judges time to combine the results, and then we prepare ourselves for round 2. Okay? Thank you very much. So since So, are the judges ready? Okay. Who's the owner of this pen? Hey guys, who is the owner of this pen? Is this your pen? Okay. Let's invite our judges to just say one word or two before they give the final announcement. Now, when they finish, we'll all go down to have a tea break before we convene again for the next session. So please, judges.
Good morning. How are you? I just have one comment from the TUK University. The first two presenters, my name is Esther. The first two presenters started on a very high note, but the third speaker, there is a way your energy was not as matched to the two speakers, but overall, this was a very good debate.
All protocols observed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can you snap for yourself? You've done a good job. And also stand for being in attendance. Okay. First is to appreciate the both teams for presenting. You've given us facts, and also it shows that you're not in vacuum, that you're in reality. You're keenly observing your stake in the global spheres, be it regional, be it locally. We appreciate the statistics that you gave. And also remember that facts are stubborn. Never make it about yourself. You give us the facts, and then everybody makes a decision. It's never about me, because they are facts that they are there. Otherwise, I wish everybody the best. I welcome my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the lively debate. I want to commend all the participants. We really enjoyed the conversation, and we appreciate. I think the judges had some metrics to consider, which led them to a conclusion. One of them was about how clear you are in your argument, how did you excite the audience, evidence in terms of what the details you are giving in your explanation. We looked at the logic and the reasoning. As you spoke, we were able to gauge who is energetic, and also depth of analysis of the points you are making, all of you. Therefore, we considered all these. Innovation and clarity was also very important, and we're able to gauge the various speakers. And of course, correctness of information, statistics. I think you came out very strongly with regard to statistics, and that was a big plus. We also looked at of course, in terms of correctness, we do not have third world. I'm a teacher. I'm Dr. Maluki, I teach here. We don't have third world because the Soviet Union collapsed. So we have developing and developing world. All of us are learning. Therefore, some of these things came across, and therefore we are listening to them. And the overall expression, the way you were confident in your argument. And this is what came out from the judges. For the TUK, they scored 75%. And for the DAYSTAR, they scored 70.9%.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So we are all winners as we continue to discuss this very important discourse in our community. Guys, listen. So we are all winners, right? Yeah. We are all winners. Yes, yes. So we work for migration, and we know we've been on both sides of all the time. So we know we are all winners in this. And we're just articulating how it is and how we see it. Let us continue improving as we go to the next stage of the debate. So right now, we are breaking for the tea. And the guys who have won, you will go to the next room, and you'll be meeting your competitors at the next stage, round 2. Yes. Sorry? Yes. Yes. You will be told. Yes. So let us take a break, please. Don't go anywhere. Be around. Let's have something together. We are in it until the end. Thank you. Okay, guys, please go for the snack. You don't want to be late for your next sessions, and the tea will be over in a short while.